Our family immigrated to the United States in the late 70s, and my grandmother immigrated with us. I was at her hip when she was cooking. Every year we had a garden that she tended to, and I'd help her pick vegetables and plant seeds. Our family table growing up was a reflection of East and West. At any given point, you might see a bucket of KFC alongside a jar of kimchi. I was really sort of embarrassed for the kinds of foods I ate, and now kimchi, it's become sort of the trendy thing to do. And so we were kind of eating fusion before fusion became a thing. And I've grown to really appreciate the kind of food I grew up with, and that's really formed my palate today as a chef. My journey to becoming a chef and a restaurateur was a winding road. Prior to becoming a chef, I was an actor for about 8 years of my life. I decided at one point that I was really unhappy. It didn't feed my soul. And so one day, it was really with the encouragement of my husband and business partner, who just said, I really feel like you find joy in making other people feel happy through food. So with his encouragement, we both decided, why not just go for it? Pizzeria Lola came to be because the one thing that I really love to eat is pizza. And I really felt like the kind of pizza I wanted to eat wasn't available at the time. And having never worked professionally in a restaurant, I figured if I just focus on one thing and really do all that I can to learn how to make the best pizza possible, that people might actually come. When we first opened up Pizzeria Lola, we didn't have any Korean influences on the menu. I wanted to challenge some of my diners, so the first pizza that we put on the menu is called the Lady Zaza, and we have kimchi on that pizza. And I think it's funny that a lot of our guests come and tell me that their introduction to kimchi for the first time is on a pizza, but they fall in love with it, and that they feel more inclined to go experience Korean food in a deeper way. It was never my intention to share Korean food with the community. It really is a reflection of my history and the food that tastes really good to me. And if I can introduce them to a new culture and a new cuisine while they're enjoying it, then it's win-win. I do try and spend as much time as I can between all three restaurants. Now we have a centralized office where I do spend a good bulk of my time, but it's not the same as actually being in the restaurants and checking in with my staff, making sure they have what they need, connecting with guests, and that's one part of the job that I really do enjoy. Young Joni is very much a reflection of the kind of food that I love to eat and a reflection of my cultural history. Young Joni is sort of the grown-up sibling of Pizzeria Lola. It's a little bit more sophisticated. We have some elevated flavors, a more diverse menu. I described it once to a friend, it's like a restaurant giving you a big hug. So hopefully more people want to come and have big hugs. We're going to be testing out a dish that I grew up eating, which was a sauteed kimchi and pork belly dish. And I had this idea of what if we could recreate that somehow.
Did you add any butter to that?
No?
I don't know that it needs it. I mean, we never used butter growing up, so I think this would be fine without it.
I don't know how much better I like this than the last one. I like both of them better than the first one. I prefer a different pork product. Maybe like sausage. I think sausage could be really nice.
I miss being in the kitchen as much as I used to be. But it's really exciting to see my chefs coming up with their own ideas, and it's allowing us to continue to grow.
Really nice, crispy, smoky skin on this fish. Grills up really nice over the red oak fire.
Ah, it looks tender.
I've always felt that food is culture. For me, the most interesting way to explore history and culture or a new country is to go eat and see the way families eat and how people gather, and it's a reflection of who they are. The food that excites me the most is a mix of cultures. Young Joni is really a culmination of my lineage, of how I grew up as a Korean American in Minnesota. And I do feel like it's an exciting time to be eating and cooking here in our state and in our country, because I do believe that the food that we're eating today is a direct reflection of the cultural diversity of who we are. Koreans have this innate sense of Han, a sense of longing and suffering, and I kind of feel like that it's almost goes against my DNA to take risks. And whether I was telling stories on stage as an actor or telling stories on a plate as a chef, I feel like it was what I was meant to do, and I feel like feeding people feeds my soul.